bits. How are we? Oh, Steve's got pizza. Nice. Let me read the whole comment. Bear with me. Oh, come on. Stupid YouTube. There we are. So, how is everybody? How has your week been? Steve at Simply Diagnostics. Hey Andy, everyone. Good morning, Steve. Jim K. Oh my word. Well, let's see how long it takes for me to get busy with customers. Slow all day, but now Andy is here. Out they will come. Yes, no doubt. Sod's law, isn't it, Jim? Steve, I've got pizza on its way. Have been awake since 2 a.m. What the hell? Watched the live stream from Keith, Corey, Brandon, etc. Early hours fading fast. Oh, mate, you need to get some sleep. That's terrible. Oh, with your shirt, Steve, I've got a little surprise on top of a surprise for you. Hasn't happened yet. I'm still going to make it work. But I thought a man of your caliber would appreciate it. So stand by. The shirt's getting made as we speak. So you know, it'll probably get shipped in 2 or 3 weeks' time. So things take a while to happen around here. In fact, things take a long time to happen around here at the moment. Kill switch. Hey, Andy and crew. Just opened a bottle of ale and in the middle of cooking dinner for the wife. She's a nurse. Well, I actually got told off last night for not cooking tea. Mrs. Mechanics had a bit of a migraine all for the last couple of days, I think, really. And so I've been really busy in the workshop. And more about that shortly. And it's not the CB750, by the way. I haven't touched that for a while. But no, I got reprimanded last night for not cooking tea. I was knackered. Anyway, we can never do anything right. Steve, currently 7:30 here in the evening. Well, that's not too bad. What the hell? Really? Okay. It would be actually. Mike Bazanski, new grill half put together. Awesome, mate. Richard Asperger. Hello, Andy. Good morning, Richard. Mike Bazanski. Morning, Andy and crew. Steve, can't wait. Thank you. That's all right, mate. No problem at all. Now, we have got quite a mountain of stuff. It's not all post, but it's something that the other items are ones that I wanted to share with you. Just to get a bit of feedback. So, guest number one, or question number one, those that follow the videos will know that I've been waiting for something. Oh my word, I can't say that. Anyway, so yes, in this parcel, and it's round in section, it's I think it's 22 mil OD, I think it is. I can't remember really. But anyway, it's 300 mil long, and it's, well, that sort of shape. So guess what you think it might be? And no profanities, please. And yes, it's for tool. Here's another clue for you. It's for Holly's DR200. I didn't say it's for Tool Girl Holly. I said it's for Tool Girl Holly's DR200. Just to eliminate that possibility. Right. Now, who else have we got? Mike Adams. Hi, all. Morning, Mike. Off-road fan. Good evening, guys. Mike Bazanski. Pepperoni stick. Not quite. Kill switch BB. Damn, you cut me to the quick, lol. I knew somebody would say something like that. Off-road fan. Brass for a sleeve. So close. So close. Igors. It's brass for the bushings. Ooh, do I give you that? I think I should give you that. It's phosphor bronze. It's a phosphor bronze rod. So let's take a look. Well, actually, it should be a phosphor bronze bar. But who knows? Because I didn't actually check it. I thought I'll keep it all wrapped up for you guys to... No blood yet. Right, that's the end cap off. Yes, look at that. So, because obviously there's most likely Tall Girl Lily's bike to do at the same time, and I have got another DR200 to build up at some point, so I got enough to make 3 pairs of bushes. Brilliant. Right, so we'll stick that over there. Oh, it probably won't stay upright. There we go. Right, what's next? Okay, yes. Big shout out to Jared at Forge, New Zealand. He's done... Oh, sorry, before I jump to that. If you're in New Zealand and you want to get any kind of weird metals to use on your lathe to make stuff, then they're not cheap, but they're very good service. Wakefield Metals, and that's the address there, look. Good chaps. Although, to be honest, not very good at communication, because I sent them an email before Christmas, as you probably know. Didn't reply. Sent it again, about, well, I don't know, early January. Didn't reply. Had to send the email 3 times and ring them up to get some kind of a response. Bad customer service, people. Honestly. So yes, huge shout out to Jared at Forge for continued support, as always. Nice chap. And of course, we're in a new year, aren't we? So we need a new calendar. I don't know if you can you make that out? She's very white today, but you can see this one. So, out with the old calendar. That will get put somewhere very safe, I'm sure. And wait for it, wait for it. And I'm not going to go through the pages. You'll have to watch those in the videos. In with the new calendar. Look at that. Thank you, Forge. Cheers, Jared. So, the workshop is a slightly warmer place now. It really is. I do like those calendars. Although I'm going to need a lot more red tape, I think. Because I've seen the pages and I'm going to need a lot more red tape. Jared said, it's not too bad, but it needs red tape. Simon Roll. Good segue, Simon. You must have known. George, good morning, everyone. Steve, been watching the CB switch video. Was waiting for you to slice yourself with the blade. Yes, not the first time. I mean, you can see or not. Have I got a pointy stick? Yeah, I can use the blade as a pointy stick. So, I was using something similar to this. I was about 15 years old. And I was cutting some plastic, the end of a piece of plastic. I was sort of shaving it down. And wait for it. The blade went through my finger about there. You can see that. Yeah. Can you see the little line just in there? Look. So it went through, I don't know, about 12 to 15 mil down from the end of my finger. And it came out in the top corner of my nail there. Now, I was only 15. I hadn't really experienced that kind of injury before. And when I was cutting the plastic, I thought, that's weird. How could the blade get beyond my finger without going through it? And I looked at my finger, I put a piece of plastic down, the knife down, looked at my finger, and it was fine. There was nothing on the outside of my finger that was immediately apparent that I'd cut my finger. And then a few seconds later, there's these little tiny droplets of blood, and I can see it really clearly now. Tiny droplets of blood just started to pop up in a line around my finger end. And I'm like, well, that's not good. So, like an idiot, I got one half of my finger, and I sort of pulled it back to see how bad the injury was. And I could see what I thought was, in the middle, something white, which I believe was the bone. And at that point, I felt really faint. So I basically clamped my finger back together, went to go and wake Mum up because it was quite early in the morning, and said, I have a problem. And of course, Mum did what mums do. She put a plaster on it. Sent me away. I'm like, what the hell? I can see bone. I think it's more than a plaster, Mum. But I think in the end, I went to hospital and they put like one of those butterfly plasters on it. But still a plaster. There was no stitches going on. But it healed up pretty well. And I've still got a bit of sensitivity there, which is nice. Anyway. We digress. So, Simon. Simon has sent a parcel. Very nice chap. And I do owe him the postage. So you've got to let me know how much the postage was, Simon. Now. Oh, I didn't cover your address up, Simon. Hang on. I'm just gonna hack that bit out. And we'll get rid of that because I don't want people knowing your address. And I'm sure you don't either. I haven't read the contents. Okay, right, here we go. So Simon sent a very, very well wrapped parcel. This is like a parcel that I send out, to be honest. I don't trust the carrier companies at all. So we're going in. I don't know if you can see this or not. Can you see? Oh, you can see it from there. That'll do. So I do like. Is it AVE where he uses basically like an angle grinder or a saw or something to get into parcel? That's a great idea. Too dangerous for me, to be honest. But anyway, right. Oh my word. Contents. Well wrapped again, Simon. Wrapping in wrapping. All right, what have we got here? Okay, number one. Quite heavy. Feels very solid. There's something in this bit. Let's not throw anything away because I'm a dab hand for doing that. But I have to go rummaging through the bin trying to find stuff. So, oh yes. Well, there's a clue if I didn't see one before. A chuck key. Now, again, those of you that follow my videos, and I know most of you do, I have a bit of a saga with pretty much all the chucks in the workshop, other than the chuckless ones, or the keyless chucks, where they're all pretty worn out. And Simon's done an upgrade on his lathe, I think it was, Simon, wasn't it? And you've gone for a keyless chuck. And the old chuck was, well, surplus to requirements, now that he's bought himself a nice keyless one. So we thought, I know who to send this to. So we did a few checks to make sure it was the right taper and stuff. Oh yes, look at that. That will fit straight in the lathe, or, and this is where it's going to go initially, is in my second pillar drill. And the reason for that is I stole the chuck at the pillar drill to put in the lathe, because the one in the lathe was pants, and I think it was a size down. So it's going to go in the pillar drill to start off with, Simon, and then it's going to get swapped and it's going to live a very luxurious life in the lathe, because it'll get a lot less abuse in the lathe, I know that. Oh yes, it's a Jacob's chuck. Oh, I like Jacob's chucks. Look at that. So when I come to renew any of the other chucks in the workshop, which I keep forgetting to do, but I do need to do that, they will be done with Jacob's chucks. So I've got to find a supplier here in New Zealand that will supply me a Jacob's chuck. Right, we'll pop that, as I always do. We'll pop that in there. And we'll move on to the next part of the parcel. Thank you very much, Simon. I do appreciate it. I really do. And it's no doubt going to save my knuckles no end using that nice chuck. Simon, just going to get a cider. Oh, I haven't missed that bit, Simon. Mike Adams, Andy, don't you know red tape is the last thing a man wants to deal with, lol? Good point. Maybe I could use a different colour for 2021. What colour would you like me to use? I'm not a fan of green. I think yellow will look a bit weird. What would you use? Black insulation tape? I don't know. I thought red really sort of, you know, highlighted the fact. Anyway. Oh my word. There's heaps of stuff in here. Oh, I'll get to the good stuff. Good stuff, better stuff. Right. It's quite light, but it is metal. Have a look. And Simon's been a long-standing viewer to the Andy Mechanic channel, so he knows my traits. And he also knows that I love English baked beans, Heinz baked beans. Look at those. Nice. I will treasure that. I will eat them though, and guarantee it. Absolutely guarantee it. Oh, there's something else here. Hang on. What's this? What have we got? Oh, it's can you make it out yet? It's got a yellow lid. Oh, I know what this is. Can I get the wrapping off? Yes, let me have a look. Coleman's mustard. Oh, so good, mate. I'll be having that in my ham sandwiches. I never used to be a fan of mustard when I was a kid. Because obviously tastes change. I just didn't like mustard. Mum used to put it on some stuff and I used to hate it. But I don't mind a bit of mustard now, as long as it's not too strong. But Coleman's is awesome. Nice jar too, Simon. Thank you very much. Right, so put those over there, nice and safe. And there's more. Honestly, this could go on for hours today. There's so much to get through. Hopefully Simon's back. Mike, you've done that one. Kill switch. Laughed my ass off, Mike. Connor K. Hey, morning, Connor. Hey, Andy. Hope everything is going well. It is. I made a decision, and we'll get to it shortly when I've finished opening parcels. Oh my word! But I made a decision to actually get on with making those. Oh, pardon me. Making those. In fact, I'll show you one. Hang on. Going off camera. Just to give you a little test, a little taster. There we are. I have, these are a bracket that goes on the front of a 3-wheeled motorcycle. That's what they call them. But 2 front wheels and 1 rear wheel. And in New Zealand, they have to have a number plate on the front. So this end mounts to the bike, and this end holds the number plate. And I've got 100 of these to make. So I've been making a start, cutting all the steel work, all the steel stock ready. It's no mean feat, to be honest. It's quite a big job. I remember the last time I made some, it took me, I think, 7 days, including spraying them. So brace yourself. Oh my word. Right. Okay, we've got here some very special screwdrivers. And if you work on anything Japanese, especially motorcycles, I think, then really you need these. And I've never had a set. I've never had anything Japanese industry standard, or they call them JIS. Because the JIS screws, like a posi style screw, you know, a star, they're slightly different in design to your normal screws that you come across, you know, automotive wise. And the way to tell if it's a JIS is they have usually have a little tiny dot somewhere near the head of the screw, somewhere near the, you know, the actual cross itself. If it's got the dot, then really you should be using a JIS screw. And if you're like Simon and you see somebody trying to undo one of these JIS screws with a normal screwdriver, I think it upsets him somewhat because he comments on every video that I haven't been using the correct screwdriver. So now Simon has finally given up and decided to sort the problem out for me because I'm so slack, and he's sent me 3 JIS spec what are they? Vessel. There we are. Look, very good quality screwdrivers, and this is also the impact version, so it'll take a hammer. Not that I probably would do because I want to look after them, but that's the model of this one there. Look, very, very nice. And I think this is the largest one. So that's that one, and we've got another one here which is slightly smaller. I'm trying to work out that's a P3, and this one, I can make that out, it's a bit blurred, but it's a P2. Same again, obviously posi, because that's the whole idea, and that's the spec there. Look, okay. So one more to go. This one is, again, a P2, but it's slightly shorter. It's 100mm shaft length, whereas the previous one was 150. So again, another P2. So these are going, so thank you very much, Simon. They are all what I call pound through screwdrivers, which usually lends them to getting serious abuse, but these will not get serious abuse. I'm going to very much treasure these for a very long time. I really appreciate that, Simon. You've gone way over and above, as always, to send me this stuff to make my life easier, and I can guarantee they will show in many videos henceforth, because it is mainly Japanese motorcycles that I work on, so these are going to get quite a lot of use, and they'll get pride of place in my toolbox, and I'll find I think I've got part of a drawer that will do just fine for these. So thank you, really appreciate that. We'll pop those over there. And they're actually straight from Japan, obviously, and that's one of the labels that you get. Look, I don't understand a word of that, but some of you might be able to read that stuff. Pretty cool, and that's on the back as well. Look, it's got all the information on the back. Very, very cool. Been wanting these for a long time. I did speak to Brandon at Teng. They don't do the actual screwdrivers, but they do the screwdriver bits in JIS spec. And you know, at some point I'll try. Couldn't find them on the website, but I'll try and get a set of those as well, so I can use them, you know, in my little impact gun and stuff as well. Just yeah, because it's helpful to have both. But they will get, you know, I actually prefer to use a normal screwdriver, to be honest. Oh, I've just seen Simon's message. Simon, I'm back. Okay, did you miss any of the parcel opening, Simon? If you did, let me know. Mind you can always rewind it, I suppose. But right, Chris. Good for Welsh red. Nice. Simon, Coleman's is the best on ham and gherkins. Oh, I don't mind gherkins. I'll try that. I will. So, Simon, we opened your parcel while you were getting your cider. And thank you very much for your trusted and loved chuck and matching chuck key. This is going to initially go in the pillar drill, my second pillar drill, which is, I've moved it now. A bit of a tidy up yesterday in between cutting steel and stuff. Because Mrs. Mechanic is going to help drill some holes. And that's why we need the second pillar drill. It saves a lot of setup time. But ultimately, it's going to end up in the lathe, and then the one out of the lathe will go back into that pillar drill. I know, sounds complicated, but that's what's going to happen. So there you go. Thank you very much for that. And thanks for the screwdrivers. Really appreciate that. And obviously, you saw me up in the Coleman's and the beans. What a bloke, honestly. Survival rations, cool screwdrivers, and a Jacob's chuck. Honestly, from the other side of the world. Okay, what's next? Well, let's do a bit of non-post first. So, just to get the comments going. When you make videos, and I make a few, as you know, you've got to have storage space on your PC for that kind of stuff. And I have a lot of hard drives plugged into my PC at the moment. And the numbers are continuously growing because I run out of space. And it's not just the rushes, that's the original video footage from filming in the workshop. You know, that's usually the largest group of file size. You know, it can be anything from, I don't know, 8 gig to 15, 20 gig if it's a long video. So there's a lot of data to store. And then you've got the file that's generated when you're editing up the video. I'm not too sure how big that file is, but it's reasonably sizable. And then you've got your final rendered video, which can be another, I don't know, if it's an hour long, it's usually about 6 to 7 gigs. Sometimes my videos are a bit longer than that, so it could be 10, 12 gigs. So basically for every video on the channel, on average, you're probably looking around about, I don't know, 25 gigabytes of storage, maybe 30 gigs of storage for that one video. So the last video I did, which was the CB750 handlebar switch, the kill switch, the drive filled up. That was it. I had no more space. Couldn't basically edit any more videos. So I had to go and buy another drive. So I bought this one. I like Seagate. They seem to work pretty well. So I bought a 6 terabyte, which should last me about a year, I reckon. And on this drive, I'm going to try and do things a bit differently now. I'm going to put all the rushes. I'm going to put the work in progress file, the editing file, and the final video will all end up, for each video, will end up on this one drive. And then by the end of the year, I can say, well, that's 2021 videos on that drive, or 2 years of the videos on that drive, and then start another one. At the moment, I've got rushes on one drive, I've got work in progress on another drive, and I've got finished videos on another drive, and they're now all full. So just thinking about a different way of doing it, really. Ultimately, I want to get a RAID system, but I priced it all up, and it was just way outside my budget. So I'm still using individual drives, which I know is a risk because they can fail. And I can't really use cloud storage because it uses so much data to upload the videos, the files, to the cloud and then download them again. So It's not really an option for me, unfortunately. I don't have that. Plus, my internet's not fantastic. So, my question to you is, in your country, how much do you pay for something like this? A 6 terabyte desktop hard drive, external hard drive. In New Zealand, it was $255. So that probably equates to about £100 or thereabouts, in old money. So let me know, I was just curious to find out, what the prices are around the world. Are they all about the same, or is it a lot cheaper in some places to buy it, or more expensive? Mike, I'll be back. Got to put on my government muzzle, aka COVID mask, and head into an appointment. I should be back before you sign off, but if not, I'll catch you on the flip side. No problem, Mike. Enjoy your meeting. Lupsido. Morning, Andy. Good morning, Lupsido. Good to have you on board, mate. Jim Haynes. Now Jim was the gentleman that sent me through those ratchets and stuff last week. Right, Jim. ROHM and FUJI, Fuji, chicks are also very good. Oh, I think you mean chucks. Are also very good. I use Vessel all the time, and they are very high quality and fit screws great. Yeah, I keep getting told by many people that I should have some JS screwdrivers, especially Simon, constantly. But now I've got them. Thank you, Simon. Okay, I'll check out those other brands of chuck as well. I just grew up with Jacob, and they've always been really good for me. So that's why I was sort of saying that. But it's good to know there are options, because I don't know if Jacobs are available here in New Zealand or not. David Walker. Great job, Andy. Keep up the wonderful work from Saturday afternoon in Texas. Nice. I was grinding the ends of some steel bar yesterday afternoon. Flicky Flag. Great name. Hey, Andy. Got any tips on getting windscreen wiper arms off without the tool? Yes. Brute force. And, well, you can actually get little pullers for them. I saw Ivan using a puller on one of his last videos. Don't be tempted in any way whatsoever to tap the shaft with a hammer. You'll regret it. You'll damage the threads. So don't do that. That's the biggest tip I can give you, is don't hammer it. You could, if you wanted, just tap around the outside of the arm, a bit like you would do for, let's say, removing the taper on a ball joint. Just give it a gentle tap around, and that might help to free it off. Obviously, a bit of oil in there might help as well. But usually, with the little Suzukis, I was able to, just wrestle with them a little bit and give them a little work, and they would ping off. I didn't have a puller at the time, so I had to make it work. The one civil man. What's the best way to find an oil leak on a Polaris Ace? Give it a clean, run it up, and get a torch. Jonathan. You should do a custom server build video. No, I have no idea how to do computer stuff. Honestly, it would just end in disaster. There'd be flames and sparks and all sorts of stuff going on. Ben's probably the best person for that kind of thing. He's doing a computer course, but his is more programming than it is build. Simon, the one civil man, clean all the oil off so it's all dry, and then look for the leak. Exactly. The one civil man. Thank you for the tip. Will do. Jonathan Turner, $124.99 on Amazon. I guess that's US. Yeah, US dollars. Okay. 125 US. So that's about 200 New Zealand. So it is a little bit cheaper, but I suppose then you've got freight. And I needed it pretty quick because I couldn't do any more videos. Well, I couldn't edit any more videos until I had one. So convenience, you pay a bit more, don't you? Simple Diagnostics, £100 or thereabouts. Okay. Yep, sounds about right. Jonathan Turner. Okay. Terrible hyperlink, lol. What? What hyperlink? I don't see a hyperlink anywhere. Al Alish. Hi, Andy. Good morning, Al. Off-road fan. Rome are great chucks. Is that German, Rome? It looks like a German brand. Are great chucks from Germany. Honestly, I should just read the comments. All my chucks are Rome. None of them failed so far. Right, that's great news. I will certainly consider that. I'd be interested to maybe get one of those and give it a try out then. Al Alish. Sorry I'm late. Al, don't be sorry, mate. It's just the way it is. We're all doing stuff. Obsido, hey Andy, never got around to this email regarding four-wheel driving, so I'll do it right now, just in case you're in the South Island for the end of summer. At the moment, my plans on a weekly basis get turned on their head. This last week, Wednesday it was in fact, in actual fact, yes. So I think on the previous live stream, I'd mentioned that I'd had the opportunity to drive a new model ROV 1000cc piece of kit, four-wheel drive obviously. This was a four-seater one, on Friday, around a farm and up and down the hills, and I had a great time. And then this last Wednesday, I was asked very politely, I was asked if I would make some more videos on the two-seater and the four-seater variant of that particular model. If Jim K's around, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And the videos, I think, went very well. There were so many features on that model, it took ages to film. It was an incredibly hot day. We've had some pretty record temperatures around New Zealand. Down in Ashburn, it got to 38 degrees, which I think is a record over the last 11 years or something strange. But obviously it wasn't quite that hot. I think we got to about 29, 30 in the middle of the field. But we were completely exposed with the sun beating down all day. So it was actually quite nice to get in the vehicle, and because obviously it's got a roof and out of the sunshine for a few minutes. So I did the video on the four-seater first. A lot of the snippets or pieces to camera that I did, we did it in a way that we could reuse for the two-seater, and you wouldn't be able to tell. You know, the camera was sort of forward-facing most of the time, or down in the cockpit. So that wasn't too bad. Had a great time that day. It was a long day, and I was absolutely knackered by the end of it. And we got some fantastic footage driving the vehicle, some really good action shots of mud flying around and that kind of thing, and some really good close-up GoPro stuff as well. So I'm very much looking forward to how those videos came out. But I'm always very much outside my comfort zone when I'm doing that kind of filming. You know, there were lots of people around, directors and camera people, and you know, and then we've got the marketing guy and we've got the sales guy, and they're all giving you information. You know, I'm not trained in delivering lines over and over again. So the joke of the day was every time I had to redo a piece to camera, the order of the information that I delivered was completely different, and I would throw in some new words and take out some words, and it was just, you know, because I'm thinking about what I'm saying rather than just thinking about a list of words to say. You know, so it was quite fun, but it was also very stressful because I knew I had to do a good job. There were high expectations, but we pulled it off, and you know, everybody there seemed to be quite happy with what I did. So you know, the proof is in the pudding when we see the final edits, but we'll see. Who knows? And if they are available on the internet, you know, globally, then you know, I'll let you know the links, and you can go and watch them. The one Silverman, can you add a bigger battery onto an engine without changing the battery and wiring? Yes, I don't see why not. You know, the alternator can only put out what its maximum output is, and the wiring between the alternator and the battery, the main cable, is designed to cope with that. So you shouldn't need to change any of the wiring. I've often fitted second batteries and larger batteries. In fact, all our little Suzuki Jeeps, when the SJ410s and stuff were supplied by the manufacturer, they had a little tiny battery with the little thin posts. And one of the things that we did when we spec'd the vehicle up to go on the fleet as a hire vehicle for the off-road centre, is the battery was always replaced with the biggest one we could fit in that box, in that hole, in the battery box, put together with battery isolation switches and roll cages and CB radios and bull bars and all sorts of stuff that used to go on, work lights and stuff at the front. We used to make them look pretty trick, without spending all that much money, to be honest. Jonathan, I've copied the Amazon link and dropped it in the chat. Very strange it's not showing. Yeah, YouTube's a bit like that sometimes. You can always, if you want to, you can send it to me on an email, Jonathan, andymechanic@live.co.uk, and I'll definitely get it that way. If your internet is slow, check out Starlink. Okay. Al Alish, right now it's 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Actually, that means nothing to me. It could be 347,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and I would only have the inclination it's rather warm. I don't know what Fahrenheit. I deliberately block Fahrenheit out of my mind. I'm only a centigrade kind of a guy. Jonathan Turner, if you're very remote. Oh, okay. Well, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but the workshop internet is I get 600 gigs a month because it's classed as a rural broadband. So it actually works a bit like a phone, where there's a big, outside the workshop there's a sender unit, I suppose, a receiver unit, a bit like a satellite dish, but it's not, and it points directly at a mast up on the hill actually. So we've got line of sight, which is pretty good, but it is limited to the amount. You can't get unlimited rural broadband. So 600 is the most you can get. It's not cheap, and sometimes I use all of it, sometimes I don't. The one in the house is unlimited, but that one in the house is a lot slower because that's VDSL. Yes, I know it's crap. It's copper wire stuff. Being rural, that's all they can offer us. So that's why I got the rural broadband for in the workshop. David Walker, 75 degrees here in the central. What? 75 degrees? That's ridiculous. The one civil man. Sorry, I meant the alternator, not the battery. Oh, hang on. Can you add a bigger battery to it? Can you add a bigger alternator? Well, you can, yes. In actual fact, and this is going back a while now, there's a company that makes upgraded alternators that can also be used as welders for stick welding, designed for the off-roaders. So when they go out and break a spring mount off the chassis or something, or a leaf spring, that I know you shouldn't weld leaf springs, but they can actually do a bit of emergency welding to get home just using the power from the alternator. So they will definitely be able to provide operated alternators. It might be that if it's only a single drive belt alternator, there might be an upgrade, different pulleys, so you get 2 drive belts. Otherwise, potentially it's asking an awful lot from a single V belt to drive such a powerful alternator. There's actually quite a lot of resistance on an alternator when it's charging. I remember when I did the one on the Patrol, I did the bench test and I had a big electric drill to spin it up. Once it kicked in and started to charge, man, you could really hear. In fact, I think it's on the intro videos. You can really hear it kicking in, and loading up the drill. It's quite impressive. It's amazing how much additional load that an alternator puts on, and you can see why race bikes and possibly cars, they don't have alternators. They just charge the battery up, send them out, because the amount of horsepower they lose just by having the alternator on the vehicle is quite significant. Now then, that did not come out right either. Hopefully, one civil man, I've answered your question, but you answered my question. Thank you so much. Okay, out on leash, -3 degrees. Oh, it's cold. Okay, there you go. You see, right? Well, -3 is not too cold. Be fresh. We call that fresh in England. Almari, you in the US? No, I'm not. I'm in sunny New Zealand. Is where I am. Right, I've managed to catch up with the comments, so let's do another parcel. Oh, actually, almost another parcel. So, I got one of these. I have a terrible problem. The number of roll cabs and drawers in my workshop has increased in recent months, and I've got another space for another roll cab now, which will arrive at some point when I decide which one I want to get. Probably one of the cheaper ones, to be honest, because I've spent a lot on the workshop in the last couple of years. But continuously, I'm moving stuff around, and it's got to a point now where I need to tidy up the workshop and sort of organize it a bit better and try and get stuff, tools, spares, project parts, service parts, for the ROVs that I service. There's a whole roll cab just full of parts. I need to decide where everything's going to go, try and have a roll cab for additional tools, try and have a roll cab which I have actually fortunately got just for parts, and then maybe a roll cab just for project vehicle stuff. Get all that organized and then label it all up, because the problem is the roll cabs move around. Didn't quite plan this very well, did I? But they move around and they go against the wall in a different order sometimes, and then I go to the wrong roll cab and that wastes time, and then I get frustrated because I can't find anything, and then I basically go through every drawer in the workshop until I find what I want, which wastes a lot of time, especially if I'm filming. So I decided to get one of these, a Brother sort of label makery thing. I know Dino label people make them, don't they, as well, but I got the Brother one. And the reason why I got the Brother one is I was looking through the specs. Honestly, I must have appeared a bit of a nerd in the shop, but I was pretty much reading everything. And the Dino label machine, from what I can understand, it would only do labels up to 12 millimeters wide. And my eyesight's not the greatest. I want to be able to read things from a distance. So with the Brother one, not a sponsor by the way, they do larger. So I went for the 18 millimeter. I think they do up to 24 mil on this machine, which is pretty good. Oh no, this one does up to 18. Sorry, my fault. So I was right there. Yeah, look, up to 18. But they did sell tapes up to 24 mil, so there must be a bigger machine for them. But this is good enough for me, and it was on offer. I tell you what, this stuff's not cheap, is it? It's an 8 meter roll. It's black print on white tape, and it's laminated, so it's pretty good quality stuff. 8 meter roll, $54 New Zealand. It's quite a lot, isn't it? So I'm going to have to make sure that I just do little labels, so it lasts a while. Right, coffee before it goes cold. Alan Cook, morning Alan. Hi Andy. Jonathan Turner, -2 degrees C here. Still fresh. Almarine. There we are. Almarine Velocity. There we go. Can we get a toolbox tour, please? You can. Not today, but I will do your toolbox tour video, because since my last one, there's a lot more stuff. So we should do that. Good call. I'll put it. I need to get a little whiteboard or something, or a bit of cardboard on the wall, so I can write all these ideas down. So toolbox tour. Where's my phone? I'll take a picture of that just to remind myself. Can we get a toolbox tour, please? Right. Okay. We can do that. The Once a Man. Do you know where you can get a tow ball, but with a smaller shank for a Ute stroke ATV? Yeah, ATV ones. The tow balls. There's usually 2 different shank sizes. This is the bit where the threads are with the nut. One is a 3.5 ton, and they're actually really big. And then there's a 2 ton one, which is a lot thinner. I don't know the dimensions. But I believe Repco and Super Cheap Auto do sell both shank sizes. But it's basically the 2 ton tow ball that you want, and not the 3.5 ton or 3,500 kilogram rated ball. So the 2,000 kilogram rated tow ball should have the smaller shank. And we have no problems at all getting them here in New Zealand, just off the shelf. So that's where you need to go, I think. If you're in New Zealand. Mr. Smith, -10 now, but in the morning it was -19. Holy moly. I remember when I drove through Bulgaria, we got down to, I think it was -15, and that was jolly chilly, I must admit. The roof rack on the Patron is made of aluminium, and when I was climbing up with Ben to fold up the roof tents, because aluminium draws the heat so quickly, sometimes, I wouldn't wear any gloves because I was an idiot, and my hand would literally stick to the aluminium roof rack, and I'd have to peel it off, much to Ben's amusement. And it was quite painful, and I used to get like chilblains in my fingers. So wear your gloves, people. The Once a Man, UTV, damn spell check. I got you. So I think the answer is still correct. Whether it's an ROV or a UTV in this case, or an ATV, you only need the 2 ton or 2,000 kilogram ball, and that will definitely have the smaller shank on it. The Once a Man. I look on Super Cheap and Repco, but I did not see anything, but I might just be blind. Well, every time I've been to Super Cheap, and Repco, mainly Repco actually, not a sponsor by the way, or maybe they should be. Um, they should have both. They really should. Who else will be able to supply? Um, Motorcycle shops will be able to supply one. Um, so because I think it might be Derby's or it might be White's that supply the motorcycle shops, the tow balls. But they're not hard to get hold of. You know, readily, pretty much any motorcycle shop should have them on the shelf for you. And they're usually about $25 New Zealand, I think. They're not expensive. Al Marine, Tang or Snap-on, or what is your favourite tool brand? How's that? Does that answer the question? Yes. Yes, we do Tang tools here. Although, you know, I do like other brands of tool as well, don't get me wrong. Um, you know, but I've just naturally always gone with Tang tools. I have bought other brands as well, but Tang has certainly been the majority of tools that I've bought, and I'm not disappointed. I think they're a good value for money, and they do the job. And you're not paying like you do with some brands. You know, you're not paying for the name a little bit. You know, I think you know there's quite a few products out there which you know, for example, you know, Worth, a lot of their power tools they buy in from other manufacturers, stick the Worth label on, and charge significantly more for it. Um, and I'm not up for that, to be honest. I think that's just cashing in. Um, you know, they're sort of relying on their brand, the overall brand quality to cash in on those other tools. So, you know. Right. Once a month, I might just be in the Puka. It might just be in the Pukekohe shop. Maybe. But they should be able to look on the system and find out which branch has got what you need, and they can also do branch transfer, so you can ask them to get it in, and it should arrive the next day. Al Marine, price to quality wise. Yeah, I think Tang is a happy medium, to be honest. I mean, they've got a lifetime guarantee on them. They're nice to use. I very rarely break any of them. Um, if I have broken stuff, it's maybe just been a screwdriver, and it's because I've been abusing the crap out of it and using it not as a screwdriver, which is my own fault, and I don't hold Tang responsible for that failure. It's me abusing the tool. Same with sockets. You know, if you're hammering a socket onto a bolt, you're not really supposed to hammer sockets. You know, but again, I mean the toolkit over there that I use for the videos, I've been using now for probably about 6 years, and I think the 10mm socket's about ready for replacement, and that's about it. They do really well, and they get used. They get a lot of use. I do a lot of servicing work. I do a lot of stuff in this workshop that you don't see on the channel, mainly because it's on a brand that can't be shown. And if it's just regular servicing work, there's no point in filming the same thing over and over and over again. And to be honest, I don't have time to either. I've got to crack on. Yeah, I thought it was Tang. Yeah. Steve, Tang make good gear. I believe they do. That's why I support them. Al Marine, Simpler Diagnostics, I agree. Andy, how do you find their warranty? Well, I've never had to ask Brandon to replace anything. The only stuff that I've broken is through my own abuse, not through poor manufacture or in use failure because of maybe a bad casting or it just doesn't seem to happen. I don't have a problem with it. I've not used their warranty ever, which is a sign of a good tool, isn't it? Philip, hi, I'm thinking of getting a hydraulic table bike lift. Any recommendations on brand and what should I be looking for? Okay. Hydraulic tables are really, really cool. The cheapest option is the foot pump type. There's quite a few different brands out there. I know ISL Industrial here in New Zealand used to do them. I think they still do them, and they're well priced for what they are. They're sort of perfect for sort of your home repairs, servicing your own bike, getting it up there, and you know, lubing the chain, that kind of thing, checking the bearings and bits and pieces. You know, where you're only using it maybe once every couple of weeks. If you were to be, you know, using it every day, if you're in a, you know, a motorcycle workshop, then they're not suitable, in my opinion. It takes a few minutes to pump the table up to working height. The next one from there really is like an air ram type hoist, which is what I've got here, the handy version, and they are by far the most popular here in New Zealand, and they're about, from memory, they're about 3,000 New Zealand dollars new. But above that, and I think Eurobike in New Plymouth that I've just started to deal with, they supply these, where they do an electric hydraulic type table. Very expensive, but you have a lot more control. With the air ram ones, you get the bounce, and they're very difficult to get to if you're trying to do something really accurately. And you also don't want to jerk the bike if it's on a jack and stuff. Then the air ones can be quite jerky. You've got to strap things down and be a bit careful. You know, I've known of bikes falling off hoists because of that jerky element. The electric hydraulic ones are far more controlled. You can very slowly move the table height, you know, accurately, and when it stops, it doesn't give that bounce. It's quite immediate. So yeah, a lot more refined. And ultimately, I would like to get one of those because they're a lot quieter to use as well. This one, the air ones, are very noisy, to the point where actually it can hurt your ears if you're using it, you know, on a regular basis, especially when you're letting the air out to let the hoist down. It is very noisy, whereas you don't get that problem with the electro hydraulic ones. But you know, you pay for them; they're expensive. So hopefully that's answered your question. If your budget's only about $1,000, you're going to have to go for the hydraulic foot pump type, I think. And there's nothing really wrong with them. Make sure you get a clamp with it as well for the front wheel. Sorry, front or rear wheel, but you need the clamp. You have to have a clamp. There's no point in having a hoist without a clamp on the front. The bike needs to be secure. I've known technicians where bikes have fallen off and it's actually hurt them quite badly when the bike's landed on them. Bum, 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 bum. Hang on, going back. Oh my word. Simon, I'm sure the snap-on 18-volt drills are rebadged Hilti. Side by side, it's very hard to tell them apart. I think we're seeing that a lot, Simon, where a number of manufacturers are using basically the same design tool. You know, maybe they just change the outer casing a little bit, but all the internals are the same. You know, just like the same way we're seeing that in the automotive world now, and actually starting to bleed into the motorcycle industry as well, where they're using the basic same platform and just changing a few little bits and calling it a different model or a different brand. It's all about cost saving at the end of the day. Al Marine, nice. I've got quite a few bits, and they all seem to be well made, especially the spanners. Love them. I do. Steve, Tang doesn't break if used with reasonable care, unlike other premium brands. Very true. Mike, how was your barbecue last Sunday? Oh, it was very nice, actually. Steak. It was really good. Craig Stevens came down and we had a good chat. And it was dark by the time he went. We got his RV loaded up. It was quite funny actually because the trailer he brought had mesh sides on it, and I was driving the vehicle onto the trailer for him, just because I brought it round to the garden, and he got the ramps down, and I'm looking at this trailer going, well, it's all well and good. I can drive up. It was pretty tight, but I can drive up into the trailer, no problem. But the mesh sides were pretty high, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get out of the vehicle once it's in the trailer, Craig? And he just laughed. Well, you got to climb out. So I did climb out, but it wasn't pretty, put it that way. It's not often I have to do Dukes of Hazzard style climbing out of vehicles and trailers at the same time. Now then, so there you go. It was good. Actually, a few siders went down. It was a nice evening. It was good to relax for a bit. Rodney, hi Andy, from the other side of the pond, St. Clair, Missouri, USA. Love all the videos. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Rodney. I appreciate that. One Civilman. Also, do you know how good off-road tracks in Auckland or Pukekohe? Sorry, do you know of any good off-road tracks in Auckland or Pukekohe? Because the grass is a bit rough right now. No, not really. I don't. All the tracks I know are in the South Island and south part of the North Island and right at the top of the North Island. There's some nice gravel roads around Puhoi and stuff that I go and charge around on every now and again. I haven't been up there for ages, to be honest. So sorry, One Silverman, I can't help you there. You can get a book, a book like a road atlas of New Zealand that has all the 4x4 off-roading tracks in it, and there's also now an online resource where you can join and you get access to maps of New Zealand with all the tracks on. I forget the name of it, sorry. It's really, really good, and members can add to it and they can comment on the tracks. So it doesn't just tell you where the tracks are, it gives you a lot of background on what to expect and photos as well. So you can decide if you're equipped enough and skilled enough and your vehicle is up to it to do that particular track, and then you can plan a route. Very, very cool. Now, Philip, brilliant answer. Thanks, buddy. That's all right, Philip. David Eagleton. Hello, Andy. How's it going today, bud? It's going really well. I've still got lots to get through. It could be quite a long live stream, this one. Simon, if you want tools you can send back bent like a banana, Bondus have an unconditional lifetime warranty. Unconditional. That's very brave. I have sent a hex key back very bent. Well, you must be a strong chap. Either that or you put a bar on it. I've been known to do that as well. Well, that's good. Unconditional lifetime warranty is pretty cool, isn't it? Kill switch. Just for the sake of making a comment, I've opened another ale. It's too early for beers for me. And still cooking dinner lol. Good man. Al Marine. In New Zealand, do you have a Teng van or something similar, or is it done online like over here? There's a lot of Teng stockists in New Zealand. There's pretty much every town and city has got Teng distributors. It's very well set up. Brandon's done a fantastic job to build the network to the point now where it's actually becoming quite difficult to get a Teng dealership, franchise, because there's usually somebody else reasonably close that's already doing it. So basically people just go down to the local parts store and that's where they get the tools at the same time. Is there a van? I don't think there's a van that goes to the workshops like the Snap-on van. I don't think they do that style of marketing. So no. If you're asking about the States, then yes, at the moment it is still only available online, but that's going to change in the near future. Brandon was telling me that some kind of contract now is due to expire soon, and they'll be able to supply in store as well, which will be really good for, it's going to really boost Teng's market share in the States, I think, because ease of access and all that kind of stuff. And some people like to buy over the counter as opposed to online. Plus, it's easy to take stuff back if there is a problem or you need to exchange it for something else. Maybe you bought the wrong thing. Kill switch. I've only ever seen one Teng Tools stockist in Harlow, UK. Well, I bought my first Teng Tools socket set when I was at college, so I'd be about 21 years old, and that would have been in Loughborough because I didn't have one and I had to have one, and I got given my college fund. I had a few spare pounds, so I went down and bought myself that set, and I don't have the box anymore because it did deteriorate because of use. But I do still have a lot of the sockets. Probably not the ratchet anymore. That's probably been swiped by somebody. But there's definitely still some of the original sockets somewhere. In a box, in the other shed, unused. Simon, Screwfix. Oh, there you go. Screwfix sell Teng. Screwfix is a really good outfit when I was there. I used to buy loads of stuff from them. Kill switch. All right, Simon. There's two Screwfix near me. I've never seen them advertise. Simon, Bet you didn't have the, bet you don't have the 10mm. Probably not. And if I have, it's probably worn out because it got a lot of use on impact wrenches back in the UK. I know that. Right. Let's do another parcel. Let's see what we've got. Okay. A batch of 3. These are all for the same order. And as some of you know, I've been trying to source loom tape for the CB750, and it didn't start off. Shouldn't use the knife. It didn't start off too well here in New Zealand, to be honest. My original search wasn't that great, but we've got a range of stuff here, which I think will do the trick. On a motorcycle, it's important to allow the loom to not be too rigid. If you just use insulation tape, it makes a real mess of all the adhesive if you ever have to go back in there again. And secondly, and more importantly, it makes the loom very rigid indeed and quite difficult to manipulate on the bike. So, one of the things that I got, if I can get into this, is, and I thought it was pretty cool, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it worked really well. I've seen this a lot on bikes, is some braided sheathing. So super flexible, but does protect the wiring really, really well. And look, I got a few different sizes of this. So this one's probably about, I don't know, 6, maybe 8mm for internal. And it's super flexible. You can actually push it together and it'll expand, which is really, really good. So it should be very easy to install. Shouldn't have any problems getting over the connectors, which is important. So we got that, and the part number for that, oh, it's made in China, that's nice. This is all from RS Components, by the way. That's the part number for that. And they do a fantastic delivery service. Very, very impressed with their delivery. They are not cheap. We also got, I've got a range of different tapes because I want to have a bit of a play around with this, and I might cover all this on a separate video. But Helitape also make very good tape, a good range of tape as well. Not a sponsor of the channel, just what I found on the net. So we got some of that, and that is Helitape Protect 250, and it's a nice big roll. It's 19mm wide, and it's a 25-meter roll, so that should last quite some time. So we got that one. I think that's the same actually. I got 2 of those. I got 2 of those. So that's that bit done. Now, box. What's in the box? Try not to destroy the box. Boxes are useful. Here we go. Oh yes. Lots of packing. Right. Okay, so this one, yes, this is pretty cool, this stuff. Hopefully it won't explode all over the place. So this is a fabric type tape. There, look. Helitape Protect 300. And it is self-adhesive, but it's not that adhesive, so it shouldn't stick too much to the actual wiring. And it says that it doesn't leave a tacky residue if you take it off again, which is another reason why I went for it. So that cloth tape, I think, is going to be used for the main runs of the loom, and I'll use the other tape for the actual for the branch areas. Of course, there'll be some. I'll be using that braided sheathing for some lengths as well, so that won't be used, fully across the loom. It'll just be used in certain places. But it gives me some more options now that I've got that. And while I was on, I just got a lot of rolls of standard insulation tape because I need some, because I'm getting pretty low with all the work I've done on the CB750, because I've been using insulation tape just to try and keep the shape of the loom as I've been working with it. So you're constantly taking bits off and then replacing it once you put a new wire in. Honestly, who would have thought doing a loom was so complicated, but it is. How the hell do we get into this one? I'm going in. no blood. There we go. Ah, right. Okay. Now the mesh sheathing stuff again. Next size up. There we go. That's the part number for the next one. Bigger, same stuff basically, just larger diameter. So that again does the same thing. You can push it together and it very quickly expands. And then once you've got your wiring in, you can just pull it to the diameter that you want. So I think it's super flexible in not just allowing the wiring to move around, but also in its application as well. So again, this is what I'll be using quite a bit of that, I think. That's that one. And what else have we got? Jeez, so much stuff. We got, we can get into here. Hang on. See if we can get the card out. Bear with me, people, bear with me. There we go. Right. So, professional grade Helitape Flex 2000 plus. Got some of that. Honestly, who would make a video on different types of tape? But I suppose it's almost like Project Farm stuff, isn't it, really? But we're not testing it yet. So, again, just a PVC type insulation tape. Super flexible and easy to apply. But, you know, I just wanted to get a few different ones to get used to what they made and decide what was going to be the best for me and for this application, really. Now, this one is the last one. This is Helitape Flex 1000 plus. There you go. Look, there's all the specs on there. So very similar. Not quite as big a roll by looks of it. I don't know. There you go. Look, again, a PVC based tape. So again, to be used around the junctions, the branches of the loom, as opposed to the long lengths. I wouldn't dream of using that kind of stuff on the long lengths. Okay, well, there you go. That's a mountain of insulation tape, so that's going to last me quite some time. But it's, you know, like I said, I didn't want to just choose one type. I wanted to get a few different ones and see what works best for this particular application. One thing I haven't yet been able to source, which is something else that I'm going to look at doing as well, is proper loom tape. Doesn't have any adhesive on it at all. I did find some at work the other day. Didn't have any branding on the roll. So I'm going to ask Dave, who works with me, where he gets it from, and I'll get a roll of that as well. But everything needs to be sourced here in New Zealand because I just can't afford any more delays on getting some more work done on the bike. I need to find local suppliers as opposed to ordering it online. Now then, Alan Cook, whose dog is barking in the background? Was there a dog bark? I didn't even hear. I don't think it'd be Marmite. I think it would be one of the neighbours' dogs, no doubt. Probably that side. Kill switch, not mine. The one Silverman. What's the best place to get good quality but cheap hand jack? It does not have to be strong. Okay. Again, if you go on to ISL Industrial, are you talking like a small bottle jack? Is that the kind of thing? They do a range of different jacks. Hang on, I've got a couple over here. Oh my, I'm gonna need a bigger bench. So I got this. Well, I got two of these actually. Not well, maybe a year ago. In fact, I got these when I was doing the steel work on the roof because I had to use quite a few bottle jacks to help line things up and hold things in place. And this obviously it comes with a handle and everything as well. And this was, I think it was about $25, $30. It wasn't really a lot of money. And they're very, very useful. They really are. Is that the kind of hand jack you're on about? If you're asking about a scissor type jack, then you probably your best bet is just go down to your local car wreckers because there'll be loads of second-hand ones in the boots of cars. Nissans and stuff are pretty good. I like the Japanese scissor jacks. And they probably charge you $10 for it, you know, cheap as chips, and usually hardly ever used. Steve, I buy my tapes 20 rolls at a time of each type. Normally lasts a couple of months. We'll try the Helman brand. Yeah, let me know what you think, Steve. I mean, Helman have a reputation here in New Zealand of being a high quality brand. So, you know, we'll wait and see. That 2000 plus looks like a Scotch 33. Yeah, I did look at the 3M products. Just problem I find with 3M is it's quite difficult to obtain their products unless you have an account. Um, so, you know, RS Components have a really good website. The head office and dispatch is in Auckland. So, yes, it was mail order or online order, but super fast delivery. But then, like I say, they're not cheap. Off-road fan. I think the US guys really like the Scotch 33 insulation tape. I ordered 2 rolls, but didn't use it yet. Maybe I'll try and pick up one of those Scotch 33 rolls, and we'll see how that compares. Once of one, yes, that's perfect, thank you. Hey, no worries, mate. Okay, we've still got a parcel left. Can you believe it? After all this opening up of stuff, we've still got one more parcel to go. So, and it's a big one as well. So, here we go. Oh, actually, before we do the parcel, I've been very honoured this week. I have received correspondence from Ichiban Moto. Look at that. From the fan club. I have no idea what's inside. Shall we have a look? Here we go. Be very careful because he often sends stickers, doesn't he? I need to send him some Tool Girl Holly stickers. In fact, there's a lot of stuff I have to send out in the next couple of weeks. I've been very, very slack in sending stuff out, but I've been really busy. So we're going to get everything collated, get all the parcels and envelopes made up, and get them shipped out. It'll all probably happen once Steve's shirts turns up, to be honest. Right, we have a pack from Ichiban Moto. Oh yes. Right, hang on then. So first of all, we have many, many stickers. Look at these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think, by the looks of it. Very, very nice. What a bloke. I do like these. It's very distinctive. I remember watching Drive Tribe with James May, and Ichiban sent James May some of his stickers, and James has one of these stickers in the mail room where he opens all the envelopes and parcels and stuff, and he's very proud of it, and so he should be. What a nice chap. Right, so we've got some stickers. We have a note. There you go, look. Holly and Andy. Thanks for being badass. Cheers, Ichiban Moto. That needs to be framed somewhere, doesn't it, and put in the workshop. Definitely. Wow. And we've got, oh my word, we've got some more stickers. Holy moly. More stickers. God, I don't know where they're all going to go. I might have to spread the word a bit. So we've got, oh, I can't read that. Well, it looks like an emergency zip tie. Look at that. Got 2 of those actually. There you go. Look, so if anybody can translate what that says, tell me. But yes, they will. Ichiban Moto did send me some stuff a couple of years ago, and I've still got the original packets with the very, very important contents. It's still in the original envelope. So yes, I do treasure this kind of stuff an awful lot. So thank you very much, Ichiban Moto. I do appreciate it very, very much. And there will definitely be a package heading your way in the next few weeks, or maybe a couple of months. Depends on how terribly bad I am. But we'll stick those back in the envelope for now. Keep them all nice and clean. What a bloke. Top man. Sent on the 18th of December. And I only picked this up from the PO box. Oh, it was last week, so it only arrived recently. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right, we have a big parcel now. I'll make a bit of space. Oh, and it's not light. It's not light at all. I've had to blank off some of the address, obviously, because this came to my home address, which is super secret. I don't like to give away where I live, because there's always the odd bad person out there. What have we got? Let's catch up quickly. John, Andy, say sorry. Mrs. M might bring you breakfast if it's not. If not, it's cold beans, lol. She actually's already brought me some toast, which I managed to scoff before I started the live stream. So we're all good there. Connor K, you mentioned Project Farm. I appreciate that guy doing all the testing, useful information. I do like his videos. He's really honed it down to just the information. It's still interesting to watch, but there's so much information in his videos, and they're not over long. You know, the pace is very fast, so it tends to retain the viewer's attention very well. So I did a couple of videos. I wouldn't say I tried to copy what he does, but I was just interested to find out. One was the glue testing that we did, which was spread over a number of videos. It was a bit drawn out, to be honest. I mean, I could have really condensed the whole thing into one video, but I didn't know the results, you know, until I knew the results, so I didn't know where to go with it. And then the other one was that testing of that Makita, what is it, DRW or something, 1002, the big 1,000 Newton meter impact wrench that I have. And that was a two-part series, I suppose, mini series, and it works. Yeah, I think it sort of worked out okay. Now I got a few complaints about how I was measuring stuff and things, but you know, right at the start of the video, I said, look, I want to do this testing just using what I've got kicking around the workshop. I'm not going to go out and buy any specific equipment to do the testing, just what I've already got. And I think based on what was kicking around the workshop, we did a pretty good job, to be honest. Right. Holy moly. Jeez. It's actually quite heavy parcel, this one. So, what have we got? What have we got? Ooh. Okay. Right. Bear with me. This is, and I've purchased this. I've got new tyres to fit to the CB750 at some point in the future. Haven't yet arrived. And with it being a reasonably fast sort of road bike, you know, which most of the stuff I do tends to be off-road. Being a road-going bike, obviously the wheels need to be balanced. And even though I've got a tyre fitting machine, I don't have a wheel balancing machine, and I don't really have the room for one either. Plus, they're quite expensive. And you've got to get them regularly calibrated too, otherwise what you think's a balanced wheel isn't a balanced wheel. And balancing motorcycle wheels on an electronic balancer is a bit of a rigmarole. You need a lot of kit to mount the wheel to the machine correctly. You can't afford any kind of movement or slippage, otherwise it makes the whole thing futile. So I decided to go back to basics and buy a bench-mounted static balancer. Not very expensive, and for this bike, for the job that the speeds it's going to be traveling at, absolutely fine. But you can only do static balancing on it. So this is the base. Jeez. And in a sense, that's sort of what it's going to look like when it's all put together. So you will see that around the workshop at some point in the future. And of course, balancing the wheels, there'll be a video on it, I'm sure, which is probably another reason for getting the kit to do it properly. And you get a little spirit level, little bullseye spirit level on there to make sure it's all leveled properly on the bench before you start, because obviously that makes a big difference to the balancing of the wheel, the end result, really. What else is in here? I did order, yes. So I did order some more stuff. I don't know what's in here. Hang on. I know I normally put the opening of the parcel to camera, but in all honesty, it's a bit on the heavy side for that. Okay. These are all. Wow. Bloody heavy. Jeez. Bloody heavy. So that's one of the uprights in the bag. And we get, there's all sorts of stuff. There's heaps of stuff. Okay, right. So you've got an idea. We've got a static balancer now for the workshop. Just happens to be in Teng Red. It's not from ISL Industrial, to be fair. I'm pretty sure they don't do one of those. It was from Eurobike in New Plymouth. Right, I got a second rubber mat because I only ordered one like an idiot. I didn't realise how big they were or small they were, so I ordered a second rubber mat to go on the little scissor jack that I've got. So I've got a pair now, which is what I wanted. And last but not least, and this was really, I wasn't really planning to get these. Yes, they look very nice, but they're not normally what I would use. I would normally use like a lead type crimp on weight that goes on the spoke of the wheel on the older bikes. That's what they used to do back then. Nowadays they use like an adhesive lead strip of different weights to balance motorcycle wheels, but that would not suit a bike of this era at all. It would look terrible. But Eurobike do supply these brass weights which have a little grub screw on. I've never used them before. Not really a great fan of them. I think partly because the grub screw is going to put a mark, essentially a dimple, a hole, a mark, you know, a depression, that's the word, a depression in the spoke. So it's going to damage the chrome of the spoke, and obviously when you change the tire again, then the weight's probably going to be some on a different spoke, and then you're going to get a rust point. So I'm not overly happy with these. I don't think I'll be using these when I do the balancing on this bike. They'll just sit in the drawer, and I don't know, they may never get used. We'll wait and see. I'm still trying to source where I can get those old school crimp on lead weights that go around the spoke, and the special pliers to apply them as well. So that's still work in progress, but fortunately that's a bit further down the line. That's like one of the last jobs to do on the bike. But if you're interested, they are made in the States of these, and that's the part number. There you go, look. So obviously some people do like them. They're not cheap. They're actually very expensive for what they are. And of course, you know, you give them away, don't you? When you do you're going to use them up. They're going to disappear. So, I don't know. I don't think Alan will want those on his bike. So they're just going to sit in the drawer. Okay. What else? I think we've covered all the stuff. Back to the comments. One Silverman. And do you have stickers? If you do, might buy some with my birthday money. We do have stickers. Hang on a second. I'll go and find some. This is the most recent design of sticker. Now, obviously, they've been around for a couple of months. I had these made up, no, 4 or 5 months ago. It feels, maybe it could be longer. So we added well, I did all this design actually. I stole a picture of a still from Holly from one of the videos, cut her out and stuck her next to the logo. So, and these are shaped. In fact, I'm going to show you one on the cabinet. Hang on a second. Let's do a little walk around. Get to see the workshop. Oh, and we've got to cover my the things I've been doing yesterday as well. Right, 3, 2, 1. Okay. There you go. Look, that's what it looks like. Very cool stickers. But the logo is still evolving. I think I'm going to put some kind of a circly thing around it, make it more into a badgy style sticker. Oh, and Jim Haynes sent me some stickers from his Sprint series, so one of those is on the cabinet as well. So there you go. If you want one of those stickers, let me know, and we'll sort something out. I've got a few left. Right, dum dum dum. Very busy workshop at the moment. So, it's too much mess. Okay, this is what I've been. Jeez, this is what I was doing yesterday. This is for the brackets for those number plates. So in there is 200 of these 10mm bright steel rods that I had to cut and then chamfer the ends, ready for welding. In here, there's just over 100 of these. These are to be drilled. There's 3 holes to go in there, 2 7mm and a 10mm. And obviously, I've got to countersink the size, get rid of all the burrs and stuff as well. And then over there, those are the plates. There's about 100 odd of those. Those are what are going to go to hold the number plate. So yeah, there was actually quite a lot of work involved doing those, believe me. Right. Oh, there's Miss January, by the way. There she is. Look, very nice. Miss January Forge. Very good. Bit flickery, sorry. Right, back to the bench. Dum 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 dum. Oh, there we go, look. Fantastic. So, stickers. Yes, we've got stickers. And I should be sending some of those out with all the parcels that I send out as well, shouldn't I? Definitely, because I've got enough. I've got enough to do that. Right, where are we? Simon, Steve, Scotch 33 is the CEF next to me. Was clearing that out last year for £2 a roll. Only had 4 left when I went in. Oh, CEF, City Electrical Factors. Is that right? Because I used to deal with City Electrical Factors in Scarborough. They were very helpful. And that I used to get all my insulation tape from. City Electrical Factors. Wow, I used to have an account with them. Steve, thanks, Simon. I'll have a look at my local. Steve, Ichiban for the win. Simon, was last year, Steve. Nylon grub screw. It's not. It's not. It's not in these, it's not. Surely. It looked metal to me. Let's have a look. All metal, Simon, this one. Is it going to focus? There you go, look. No, it's just going to... It's certainly going to take the chrome off the spoke, that's for sure. Drew Dastardly. Hey, Andy, can you not use fishing line lead weights? Or are they banned now as well? No, I want to use the proper motorbike ones. I don't know how successful that would be. I'm not a fishing guy, so it's hard for me to visualize how that would apply. Oh, I got a free Allen key, by the way. Another one. The Once a Man. I would love those stickers. How much do they cost? Well, they don't cost anything. Just send me an email with your address and I'll send you one. Or two. How's that? Email address is andymechanic@live.co.uk. It's in the description. Simon, that war you need nylon grubs. Steel grub screw. It is. It's metal. It's just going to bite into that spoke, which I suppose is what it's designed to do, isn't it? But I just want to use the lead ones. It will look far more authentic because those little clampy on ones, I've not seen those until recent years, so maybe they didn't even exist back then. I don't know. Right, where were we? Coffee. What I could do for the stickers actually as well, which might make it easier, is I could quite easily put the graphics on a Google Drive and send you the link, and then you could have them printed out at your end. You could have it, you could use the graphic in any way you wanted then, couldn't you? So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just put together a folder with all the Andy Mechanic graphics and stuff, and then you can just download them over free and print them out or whatever you want to do at, at your end. And then that way there's no postage, there's no delays, and you can do whatever you want with it. Once a month, thank you so much. No problem. Perfect to stick onto the Polaris. Most definitely. Yeah, they are made of like an outdoor style material. They are supposed to be waterproof because I want them on toolboxes and bits and pieces, so they've got to last for a while, haven't they? Right. Where are we up to? Hour and 30. These live streams tend to last about an hour and 30. We've been flat out today, haven't we? We've done all sorts of stuff today. Got my new calendar. Oh, by the way, the calendar that I showed you, because obviously mine's already on the wall, that second calendar that Jared gave me is for Connor Kay. He was the winner of the prize draw of all the stuff that we did on New Year's Eve. So Connor, got yourself the new Forge calendar. How's that? Oh man, I've got a bench to clear now, haven't I? It's absolutely, there's just stuff everywhere. So before I start to do any more work on those brackets, Mrs. Mechanic's going to give me a hand. And unfortunately, the benches, the work benches in this workshop are actually quite high. They're okay for me. I'm used to the height that they're at. They're a little bit high for Holly, and they are way too high, especially for using the pillar drill for Mrs. Mechanic. So she'd have to stand on a box to use the pillar drill, and that's not really ideal, and it's not particularly safe. So I decided that one of my little jobs this morning, which will probably bleed into the afternoon now, will be to make basically almost like a shelf off the end of the bench that's lower, that we can lift up, and it'll have two spars going down to brace it onto the bench, so it'll all be bolted into position. There'll be no movement, and the pillar drill will mount to that. So before I start, I've got to get Mrs. Mechanic to come in the workshop, and we've got to decide what height I need to make that shelf so the pillar drill ends up at a good working height for her. And there'll be either side of where the pillar drill mounts on that shelf with some steel plate, so she can put her bin of to drill on the left and her bin of drilled finished items on the right. So the workflow is nice and quick, because, you know, she wants to help, but she may not be in the workshop for a very long period of time. So we need to maximize the output, don't we? Productivity is what it's all about. Connor K, oh yeah, like the calendar, and so you should. And there won't be any red tape on your version, Connor, so you'll get the full benefits from Forge. So, yes, I've sort of come to a halt on what I needed to talk about, and we've run out of comments. I don't want to finish the live stream just yet. I've still got a bit of coffee left. So, what's going on in your world, people? David, might need a shop made, lol. I think you might. I always find productivity, believe it or not, does increase, only marginally, with an assistant in the workshop, especially when Holly's around. But yeah, it's nice to have a bit of company in the workshop. I'm often working in here on my own, but Mrs. Mechanic does bring me drinks and food and stuff on a regular basis, which is nice. Keeps me alive. Al Marine, still around, Al. Good job. Have you used any of the Evolution power tools? Never even heard of them. Let's have a look. Evolution power tools. Well, they've got a website. Obviously been around for a while. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. I've not seen these in New Zealand. I haven't. I haven't used them. That's the simple answer to the question. I haven't used them. I don't know how good a quality they are. You give me some feedback. What do you think to them? Has anybody else used them before? I tend to stick with Makita. That's my brand of choice. That and Metabu or Metabu, depending on how you pronounce it. Alan Cook, have you seen my photo? Now then, Alan, I think. How did you send it, Alan? I did get one through on Instagram a couple of days ago. Bear with me. Bear with me, people, because there's so many possible ways of communicating. It gets a bit confusing sometimes. No, but I did get one from Chris Green the other day with his Andy Mechanic mug in a very smart looking press. I'm very envious. That is one smart press. It sure is. Yes, I will need to upgrade my press one day, but now I've made it part of the racking. It's sort of going to be here for a bit longer, I think, isn't it? But that is one cool press. I do like the fact it's got a pressure gauge on it. I like that a lot. 20 tons. Looks good. Looks really good. And it's electric as well. So you don't have to pump. You just press the button. Very cool. So, Alan, no, I don't recall seeing that one. Sorry, mate. Send it again on an email for us. Connor, thank you, kind sir. Anytime, Connor, no problem. Al Marine, yeah, still around, loving the live stream. Awesome, mate. Brandon Lee Grant Mills. Sorry a bit late, mate. Just got in from work. You don't need to apologise. We're all busy. Steve, nice, easy week for me this week. A couple of jobs per day and 1 day's troubleshooting and scope training for a local garage on Wednesday. Awesome, mate. When you're doing the scope training, do you find that the lads already have some, sorry, I'll rephrase that. Do you come across technicians that have no previous scope experience and you start from scratch? Or do you find that really it's just more in-depth, detailed use of the scope to build on their existing knowledge? That was well put, wasn't it, for a Sunday? Mike Bazanski, Mrs. Mechanic should borrow the safety boots. Yeah, Mrs. Mechanic has lots of safety boots, believe me. The one civil man, please see if you got the email I just sent you. Oh, okay, hang on then. I've got to open my emails up. Because I still can't get emails on my phone. Useless. Come on, Outlook, you can do it. It's having a think. It's trying. Oh my word. Error. Something went wrong, you don't say. Let's try again. There we go. Now, was that... Who sent me the email? Right. Yes, I think I did. Hang on then. Off-roading in the South Island. This email, so you can get my details. I go four-wheeling quite regularly in Otago in the Southland. It's nice around Otago. Otago Park and Ayr Mountains Park are top choices. Also, Rock and Pillars, Middlemarch, is not too rough, and you get good views of the valley. Keep up the good work, mate. Vincent, aka Lepicedo Alicon. So maybe that isn't the email we're talking about. Is that right, one civil man? Because you go by two different names. Is from Killer Drones. Okay, hang on, we'll go back. Inbox. Sorry, this is probably not very good viewing. It might be in my other thing. Nothing there. Let's check in the junks. No. No, it's not here yet. I'll keep my eye open for it though. I will. Alan Cook just popped up. Oh, very nice. Yes. Got it. I got the picture. Thank you very much. Good job, mate. Do you want me to show the picture? Alan, do you want me to show the picture on the live stream? Just send me a message. Let me know if you do or not, and I will. Right. There we go. One Silverman, jumping off my bed right now. Alan Cook, the one I am using for chatting to you. Oh, okay. Yes. Simple diagnostics. Yes, most have no experience. So really your introduction then is to, I suppose you would highlight the fact that the data capture is so much faster than using a multimeter, because you can see things that you can't see on multimeters. And also, it records it over time as well, so you can look back at the waveform previously. They're very useful, aren't they, for seeing very slight changes in voltage and very fast changes in voltage too. But you know all this. Steve, so I run through with a few different ones and let them get some wiggly lines on the screen. Yes, absolutely. That's basically how I used to broach the subject of using a scope. is, I would first of all use a multimeter, on something that was very fast changing, a bit like, I don't know, maybe a injector pulse, or, maybe even your TPS, I suppose, if you open the throttle quick enough. But then they get to see the real signal, don't they, rather than just an average voltage. It becomes meaningful on a scope, whereas on a multimeter, it's just gibberish in most cases. One Superman, it's from Kilodrones. Okay, I'll keep my eye open. Something else, it's the new Pico 4425A takes all the hurdles away for a new user, so it's by far the easiest for them to learn with, especially with the new Pico 7 software. Yes, very envious, Steve. I haven't got one of those, and I certainly won't be able to afford to buy one myself. I might have a little chat with Pico Technology in the UK and see if they're going to want to send a new one across for me to use on the videos. We'll have to wait and see. My contact there, I think now, has either moved out of the business or he's moved roles. So he's no longer my contact, unfortunately. But, I continue to use the scopes because they're bloody awesome, in all honesty. And what I've got is, it's far more than what I ever really need to use, to be honest. It's very capable. Alan Cook, yes, right, okay, here you go then. So I'm going to show Alan Cook's photo for you all that he sent through. Bear with me a second, because I can't do the modern stuff. There we go. Right, very nice. Good photo, mate. Good job. There you go, Alan. Famous again. Now, where were we? Simon. The first time I've seen in-cylinder pressure analysis, it blew my mind being able to see the valves open and close exactly. Yes, that's something I really do need to get into. I did actually attempt to order a pressure transducer from one of the other YouTube channels. He makes them, but for some reason our comms broke down. Whether my order email ended up in his junk folder or what, I don't know. I need to follow that up and get it ordered. I also want to get one that will do the pressure in a coolant system as well, because really good for cylinder head gasket failure tested diagnostics and so on. So I really want to get into that side of things, because I think it's a really good way of seeing if combustion gases, or combustion pressure should I say, are getting into the cooling system. That's my future wife, says Alan. Bloody hell, mate. Good job. Jim K. Yep, I knew it would happen. Just getting back. Customers, eh? The one civil man. I resent it because the first time it said the email was not valid. Okay. So Andy Mechanic, one word, Andy Mechanic at live.co.uk is the correct one. So let's have nothing's come through yet. I don't think. Not yet. We'll check again in a minute or two, because I'll still be here. Drew Dastardly, you can get a hell of a lot of self-diag scope data from a proper OBD scan tool without hooking up an actual scope. You can. There's a lot more available now, isn't there? Although, to be fair, on the diag tools, and again, Steve might be able to help with this, because I don't really use that many of them, to be honest. The scope quality, the refresh rate of the scope on the diag tool tends to be not anywhere near as good as on the Pico, but it's certainly very helpful for some diagnostics. Drew, the ECUs provide the diags. Simply Diagnostics, Steve. I'll send you contacts via email for Pico. They are one of our community partners. Excellent. You'll be able to show them your new shirt when it turns up, because it's got your logo on it. Matawix, good morning. Matawix, how's your weekend? My weekend is busy. I keep getting distracted and doing stuff around the workshop, but I have got a fabrication job in progress at the moment, which should have been done about 2 months ago, and I've been busy with a CB750 and I keep putting it off because I just don't want to do it. But this weekend I built up the motivation to get on with it, but I still keep getting pulled away doing other things. but that's fine because I'm trying to have a reasonably easy weekend. Drew, obviously no use on a 70s CB754. You need a real oscilloscope then, that's right. The Once of Man, sorry for the trouble. No, you're all good, mate. You're all good. Don't panic. It hasn't come through yet, though. As soon as it does, I'll have a read. Oh, wow. So I think we're about at the end of the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. An hour and 45 minutes. I'm not going to go for a record today. I think an hour and 45 is amply long enough for a live stream on a Sunday morning. So I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. We've covered lots of stuff. Alan says, do you still go-karts? I've still got that go-kart buggy thing to do. It's still sat on the workbench. I've got all the steel for it now over in the corner. I bought that a few months ago before Christmas with a view to trying to get on with it, make a start over Christmas, but made a decision that I have to get this bike finished and Toolgirl Holly's DR200 finished before I start on it. I really want to be focused on that one job, and then that way I can, progress with relative speed and get it all done. There's a lot of fabrication work to do, replacing some of the framework, and mounting a different engine in there as well. We're going to use a DR200 engine for it, so I might have to extend the back end of the chassis. I just don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Something like Steve, my KTS scan tool has an inbuilt scope, very, very handy for quick tests. Absolutely, because to set up the Pico, it's not that much of a palaver, but it's something else that you have to do, and if you can do it all on one tool, even better. Simon, NSR 125 engine in it. No, it's for children, Simon. It'd be far too fast. John, hit the like button. Thank you, John. Yes, John says hit the like button. Thanks, John. Roger Heaps, cheers, Andy. Enjoy your week. Thank you, Roger. I will. In actual fact, I have no idea what I'm doing this week, other than the fact that one of my colleagues at work has asked if he could borrow my big trailer. I asked him why. He says, I've got to go and pick up a tractor. A tractor, I said. He said, yes, I've bought a tractor. I said, good man. So this tractor is up at Whangarei, which is about, with the trailer, about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours north of Auckland. So we're going to go up one evening because he was going to use it behind his car, and I think it's a bit of a big trailer to go behind a car with a tractor on. It'd be overweight. So we're going to go up in my work ute, and I'll give him a hand collecting the tractor, and then we'll drive back to his house and drop it off. So it could be quite a long night. I don't know which night that's going to happen yet, but it definitely is going to happen. Should be good fun. And who knows, I might even do a little live stream somewhere along the way. We'll see. Roger. Oh, yes. Steve, great live stream. Again, Andy, thanks very much. Hey, no problem at all, Steve. And rest assured, as we speak, that shirt is getting made up. I can't wait to see it, actually. It should look really good. Oh, and I've got a second surprise for you. No, a third surprise for you, Steve, which you will only see on the videos once Holly's back. And I know you're a big fan of Toolgirl Holly. Okay, crew, well, that is it. The end of today's live stream. I'll be back again next Sunday at 8:30 a.m. New Zealand time. I will see you all then. Thanks for joining. See you next time. Cheers. Over and out.